Welcome to Fireside Yankees. My name is Alex, and my co-host here, Nick Nielsen. And today we want to take a look at how electrifying the Yankees offense has been the past couple of games. 25 total runs since starting this recent series against the Chicago White Sox. They have been an absolute tear. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, the guys just can't stop hitting homers. Josh Donaldson coming around. Joey Gallo's turning things around. The whole team is clicking. The offense specifically, and Nick and I want to dive into those metrics and those numbers, kind of giving you some information about why they're doing so well and is it sustainable, because this is arguably the best offensive performance we've seen of any team this year. And if they can sustain this, they're going to be World Series contenders, and they probably are considered that right now, Nick.
World Series champions, Alex.
Champions.
World
if
Series
they can
champions.
maintain this, if they can maintain this, absolutely. Like there's no one that's going to beat them putting up double digit. They're putting up football scores out here.
It's
and we're
insane.
talking.
Like, I know you're a Giants boy. Everyone drops some love to Fireside Giants as well, but they're putting up better offensive numbers than the Giants did a lot of times.
More than Daniel
year.
Jones. It's crazy.
Like maybe we just get Judge and G on the Giants. I mean, everyone knows they'd be god football players anyways. Maybe we get them on the Giants and 9-8 season, over 500.
Look, at least we won't be fumbling the football. That's all. Throwing interceptions and turning it over. But the Yankees, the last couple of games, man, have just been unbelievable. Like there's not a team hotter in baseball right now. And look, that's not to say the pitching hasn't given up a couple runs here and they gave up 7 runs in the first game against Chicago. Four runs
15,
last night.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Yankees, it was 7-7, the 6th, 7th inning. Chicago was like, oh, we got them. We can definitely win this game. And then bam, 7-run inning. And the Yankees are like, okay, we'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All of it with like 2 outs.
All with 2 outs.
Like it was nuts.
It's unbelievable.
I was like, what is happening? Because like this offense struggles so heavily at times to score with runners in scoring position. Also, everyone wondering, sorry about my lighting. I'm not trying to fulfill my God complex here with the beaming light behind me. It's very bright here right now. But this offense at the beginning of the season had its moments where they'd go on spurts, then they like against Texas, they scored 5 runs in 3 games. And then now I will say, it doesn't seem like, oh, they're just putting all their eggs in one basket and we're going to have a 5 or 6 game stretch where we score 1 run. However, I could eat my words. Knock on wood. But it seems like they're finding consistency 1 through 9. Like Josh Donaldson talked about it after yesterday's game, and he's like, Judge and Stanton are amazing players. Like they're on one. But what's making us so difficult to beat right now is that 1 through 9, you have to pitch to every single player. There are no real easy outs. And I know everyone's going to shit on Hicks, even though he got his first extra base hit in like a year yesterday. And it was an RBI.
9-hole, baby.
Yeah, Alex Wilson caught it, baby. You knew it. We called the lineup like almost to a T, and then the lineup went off. So I think that we may know something
here.
Yankees definitely listen to our videos. That's why the views are going up. New York's an endorser.
Boone's like, wait a minute. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like I heard what the guys in Fireside Yankees said, and I just had to go hit some 9-hole. So he's turning it around. We're expecting the results to follow. Aaron Boone's presser. But I don't know, dude. It's like this team is fun. I'm in a great mood. I feel like every game we're gonna win, and that's something I haven't felt in a while with this Yankees team. Like I know it may not be maintainable at this rate, but the fact that there are 24-8 is insane. Like if they go 3-1 for the rest of the season, that's like 117, 121 season. So like, I don't know if that's maintainable, but I also know that even if this team's going to goes through a little bit of an offensive slump, I'm not going to be end of the world like I have been in years past, where it's like, this is just who this team is. Like last year when they slumped, it was like, this is the real identity of this team. Their hot streaks were the anomalies. However, this year I feel like it's the complete opposite. And I don't know if you would agree with me on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the one thing that I've been really impressed about with this team so far is that when the offense is struggling, the pitching steps up. And when the pitching is struggling, the offense steps up. When they're on all cylinders, they're unstoppable, right? You cannot beat them. But the way that they've balanced this balancing act that they're playing right now, if they hit the playoffs healthy and in sync at the right moment, they're going to be impossible to stop. There's no team that is going to be able to stop them. And the Yankees, there's plenty of teams spending more money than the Yankees right now. So it's not like we can make the argument. It's not like other teams can say, you know what, the Yankees are just spending and buying players left.
No, we spent a lot less than a lot of teams.
Exactly.
That's why we
We're
were so
spending a lot
pissed
less.
this offseason. We're
That's
like, what the
exactly right.
hell? And now it's like, okay, we understand.
Yeah. And now it's like, wait a second, we actually just the management is doing a good job.
They did a great job.
Analytically, they're actually doing a good job. They're not only focusing, and that was something that the fans called for last year. We needed some more contact hitters. We needed some guys that could get on base and not just sluggers like the Gary Sanchez's of the world. Like they're all just sluggers. Like if they're not hitting home runs, the team is basically like there's malnourished offensively.
Yeah,
so
it's feast or famine.
It's feast or famine. So when you have guys like IKF that get on base, Aaron Hicks who walks, or DJ LeMahieu that just consistently gets on base, it's awesome. And looking at Aaron Judge, the dude is putting together an MVP performance right now. I wrote an article this morning.
Ooh.
Brian Cashman is like, he must be like, God damn it,
it's gotta be.
We are so screwed paying this man because
blank check for Judge.
And for the record, I think that I think that when he released those contract details to the public, that, $213.5 million for over 7 years, he was trying to put pressure on Judge's representatives. And I think that was a very bad move because
absolutely. Why would you release it like a day before opening day?
He tried to put that was the
day of, I believe.
Risky,
wasn't it the day of that morning?
Day of that morning. It was a very risky move because now the media is asking Brian Cashman, hey, like, what's going on with the contract negotiations? He's like, we're not talking to the public about it. Obviously, they were like, dude, that was really messed up strategy. Like, you tried to put us on the spot.
Terrible strategy.
And like, you pissed us off. And now Aaron Judge has all the leverage, considering in the month of May, the dude's hitting .326 with a 1.167 OPS, .767 slugging. His on base percentage is 400. The guy's hit 6 homers and 14 RBIs. He is 14. The guy is on a freaking tear.
He's insane.
And even Brian Cashman's like, we knew he was great, but this dude's playing out of this world right now. And like Brian Cashman's absolutely
backed open up his pockets, dude. Well, Hal's gonna have to open up his pockets.
He's gonna.
One of those yachts is gonna go. One of those yachts is going.
The luxury threshold. There is no way if the Yankees let Aaron Judge walk, we will never be able to.
That would be the big, especially if we
forgive
if this season ends up rolling like it is right now, and Aaron Judge does continue this pace, even if he doesn't win MVP, because it is a popularity award. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, still look at Aaron Judge and think big guy strikeout ton. But if Aaron Judge does end up finishing, say, top 5, top 3 in MVP voting, and the Yankees win a World Series, there should be no excuses as to what we paid Judge and doing whatever it takes to keep Aaron Judge. Especially because Joe's McFly posted today a great point. The Stanton contract is looking better and better each year with this team. Like, I think he's making $26 million. 25 million this year. And for his production, if you look at players around the league, there are like 15, 17, 20 deals that have average per year values, and they're not getting nearly as much production out of them. Like, you got a couple of guys like your Manny Machados and your Bryce Harpers that are going to obviously just destroy the baseball and make their money. But the thing is that a couple years ago when Stanton signed his contract, he was one of those guys. And now people are seeming to forget that he's one of those guys. Like, I think it was Brian Kenny had one of the dumbest takes of all time on MLB Tonight or MLB Now yesterday, where he was saying, is Giancarlo Stanton good or bad for the Yankees? Is him hitting well bad for the Yankees? And then he said some shit like, can Stanton, this is my favorite part. He's like, now I haven't done the research on this.
That's what I was going to say. The second you say that, anything you're discredited. You say is bullshit. It's bullshit.
Like, of all players, Stanton, the guy that literally does not complain. Like, Michael Kaywood brought it up yesterday in the game. He's handled being a Yankee about as good as anyone I can remember. Like, he doesn't get like flustered when the fans boo him, and they literally boo him every time he steps up when he's like struggling. Not slugging. When he's slugging, it's like all hail the holy Stanton. But he doesn't care. He doesn't let the noise get to him, and he just performs. And he's done that every single year he's been with the Yankees, except for the year he was injured. And what happened that year? He came back and carried the Yankees in the postseason. So it's like, to say Stanton's not like a big game player and can't hit big game pitching when he's got like 1,050 OPS in the postseason is one of the most ignorant comments I've ever heard. And then he comes out the next, like that day, and plays in the night game and hits 2 home runs and a hard hit single. So it's like, okay, Keep hating on Stanton. Like every Chicago White Sox fan has been heckling the hell out of the Yankees players, and they just respond with
Double
like a
digit,
scorching hit, home run or
double
double.
digits,
Like
double
twice.
digit points. We're scoring football scores on this team, and they have
Yeah,
they have
like
shit to
twice they
say.
showed the shot
Unbelievable.
of Donaldson hitting the home run, and then the fans pouring out of the seats. Like Gabe like posted the video of it like overlapped, playoff Tanaka. Um, like it's hilarious because it was Donaldson hit the 2-run shot yesterday, then he hit the 3-run shot, I believe, the day before. And both time you just see the fans filing out of the exits. And it's like this team last year, I feel like never made opponents quit enough. And this year,
They're
it seems like
demoralizing people.
that's what I'm saying. Tim Anderson on the last play of the game yesterday with like runners on first and third was like jogging on a tough play. Like to IKF, who struggled all day defensively. He's just like casually jogging to first. And it's like, that's demoralizing. The Yankees just like destroyed you guys. 25 runs in 2 games.
Yeah, and look,
Against not a bad pitching staff.
no, they're not. They're not bad, but
Velasquez isn't great, but Cease, we put 6 across.
yeah. I mean, he was throwing meatballs half the time. Once
The other half.
Once the Yankees got a hold of those 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball, those changeups, and curveballs, they were just teeing off on him. But going back to Stanton for a second, looking at his numbers, right? So right now he's in what 0.284.
He's hitting 284 now.
He's hitting 284 with a 323 OBP and 552 slug, and the guy has 10 homers.
225 before the White Sox series.
Yeah. And look, so when you look at actually how he's doing, his launch angle pretty consistent with his career average. He actually has a career high about 60% hard hit percentage right now. That's a career high. 22% barrel rate, which is the highest it's been since 2019. But what's the main difference here? The guy is healthy. The guy is playing healthy. He's also his exit velocity is the highest it's ever been at 98.4 miles an hour. You're talking about a guy that's making really good contact.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy that's hitting on the barrel a lot. And his hard hit percentage is the best in his entire career right now. He is seeing the ball extremely well. And the thing about Stanton is that he doesn't have this like insane exit, like this insane launch angle where he's at like 14, 15%. He hits
so
it pretty
big
flat. He hits it pretty flat. And the thing about that is like, that's all he needs to hit them out of the park. He hits absolute laser beams.
He uses no legs. It's all arm. It's insane.
Body.
Like this guy is massive.
The guy's like Goliath and David. He's like a combination. And honestly,
he's like a combination.
He's the big guy, and he's just like
that little dog mentality, but he's a big guy.
The little dog mentality, but he's got the big body. And I think honestly, when you're looking at Stan, if he continues like this, he's going to be right up there with Judge at the MVP voting. He's going to be right up there with Judge. We're talking about 2 guys that could both break 50 homers this year if they keep on this pace. I think Judge is on pace for 60. Like
this is the summer of 61 reincarnate, dude.
And this isn't even juiced baseballs. This isn't even juiced baseballs. We're talking about baseballs.
No, last year juiced baseballs, dude. That Field of Dreams game, looking back now, is so funny.
Insane.
Like it's the most obvious juiced ball game I think I've ever watched. And now there's like all those conspiracies about does the MLB juice the game for national televised games? And if that's the case, then that's a problem. Because I think Tommy Pham posted today saying, how is it that this ball that was like hit the exact same went 50 feet further than this one on like a televised
possible.
game?
It's
like,
possible.
I don't know. There's a lot of things, but the point is though is that this offense is doing that with the dead balls, and they're doing it to a point where it seems like they're expected to do it every game now. Like the Yankees have 125 team WRC plus this season. That is insane. That's the best since like 1894. I forget who it was. I think it was Aaron Judge and Joyer. 1884 said the 2022 New York Yankees have 127 WRC plus as a team. That's the highest team WRC plus since 1884. It went down to 125 because I believe we had another at bat or two since he tweeted that. But the point is that this team is tearing the cover off the baseball. And if you look at that 1961 Yankees team, you have, of course, Mickey and Maris, 196 WR plus 162, with respectively 54 home runs and 62. That sounds exactly like what Aaron Judge and Stanton are on pace for right now. It could be crazy.
In the modern era, that's
insane. That's what this is all. That was against postal workers and like
exactly.
milkmen. This is against people that are throwing 100 mile an hour, sinkers. Like I know not everyone's like Miguel Castro that throws that shit out there. But there are a lot of really good pitchers, and they're doing it against them. Like Joe Kelly,
you're right.
The Yankees rail Joe Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a filthy sinker.
He was like
curveball break. He's disgusting.
Like they were seeing it.
Yep. But like we rate them for 5 runs. And this is because we have a good team. Everyone 1 through 9 is good. Like, this is why I hate people, like we talked about in like I think it was the maybe last episode or the episode before, where I complained about the short porch because people are saying the Yankees just built their team for it. No, the Yankees just have a good team that can hit well everywhere. Like, I think when you look at the road games, they've been playing almost as well as at home. They've scored 5 runs a game this season, which is third most in baseball, and they've scored like 4.9 at home. Like, they're scoring better on the road. And yet it's, oh, the Yankees in the short porch. They're getting free gimme runs. Stanton hit 2 home runs yesterday that were just absolute line drives. And it's like, how the hell? Those would have been home runs at Yankee Stadium. There were home runs at Guaranteed Rate Park, at Guaranteed Rate Field. Like, this team, it's not just that, like, oh, they can take advantage of things, because they can do that, sure. But they chain hits together. They pick one another up. They understand, hey, 1 through 9, we are good. And 1 through 6, especially, we are fucking amazing. Like, we have Murderers Row all over again, going to 1926. Like, this team is just, we could have 1 through 6 all post WRC plus over 120, 115 this year. And I think that is insane. Like, even if IKF, let's say going back to the Eminem 61 season, even if IKF wanted to be this team's Tony Kubek and bat 276 while playing great defense, that's fine by me. That's fine. Great. I don't need you to hit 40 home runs, IKF. I just need you to not make 6 errors a game and then hit the baseball, like, and try to elevate it.
Yeah.
He'll get there. Doing their job, dude. Everyone's doing their job.
I'm not too worried about IKF. I mean, when the team is playing this well, you can afford to have a couple guys that aren't at the top of their game. But once we've seen him have a couple of streaks this year where he looked really good and he was getting hits and he was getting on base. And when he's doing that, he's an extremely important piece to the team. He's like we said, we talked about the bottom of the order yesterday. When he's at the bottom of the order, that 7-8 spot, then you have Hicks, who walks a lot, gets on base, and then you have DJ coming up and Judge. But if IKF is leading off and he gets on base first, and then Judge eventually, will be up, Judge will get up and he's hitting homers, that makes it a 2-run homer. That makes it a 3-run homer if DJ gets on base. Like, we're talking about.
That's what happened yesterday. Like, even though Hicks went 1 for 4, he had that double, which was huge for his confidence and for the team. And he ripped it down the right field line. And he had that double that was an RBI. And then his other at-bats, they were still not bad at-bats, except for the last one. The last one, Hicks swung at the first pitch, but he was just under it. So it's like, hey, this is, at least now, I feel like the double kind of gave him a little bit of confidence back to where he could be a bit more aggressive and stop kind of playing like Max Muncy's playing right now, where it's, I genuinely don't know what's coming. I'm just going to wait and see if the pitcher makes a mistake. Like Max Muncy yesterday, I don't know if you saw this. He took a pitch right down the middle and it was called strike, and he like got pissed at the ump, and everyone's like, Max, that's right down the middle, my dude. That's not a ball. But I don't know, man. Like, the team has the most home runs in baseball, like the 3rd or 4th most runs. They also have 18 stolen bases this year, which I feel like it took them like 75 games to get 18 stolen bases last year. And that was because it took them that long to start playing Tyler Wade. Like, I don't know, man. This team just has a different mojo about it. And it feels like when they're in a game, if it's 3 runs, if it's 1 run, if they're up, it feels like you're in a comfortable position to win. They always give you a winning chance. And last year's team did not do that. Neither did 2020's team. Honestly, 2019 didn't really either. This team feels like the World Series team. 24-8 is like one of the best starts in franchise history. And the other starts that are that good, the Yankees won a World Series. So I don't know, dude.
I think we're in a really good spot. I think that right now the offense looks unbelievable. We can only hope that they continue playing at this level, because if they do, it's going to be a really fun couple of weeks. The Yankees have a really tough schedule in terms of not many breaks the next 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks. So they really, really got to be consistent. This is last year. They had a streak like this and they lost like 50% of those games. This year, it looks like they're going to win 90% of those games. And if they can pull that off, the Yankees are already 2.5 games up in the top record in baseball. They're 4.5 up in the AL East. They can really start to pull away. And
they're like 12 over Boston now.
Yeah, they're 12 over Boston. Like that is huge. If the Yankees can I don't want to have to go into another playoff situation where we're in the wild card and we gotta hope that we win one game.
Wait, is it do or die, or is it 3 games for the new format for the wild card?
Yeah, it might
I don't know how they.
I'd rather just skip the wild card and have the number 1 seed and just skip that whole thing. So I kind of would rather that, but I think that the two things I would want to see from the Yankees this season. There's 2 problems that could arise. One, starting pitching fatigue. That's one that I'm very, very, very cautious about. I'm very, very interested to see how they address that, because eventually there's going to be an injury or there's going to be something happening.
We did sign Salazar, and Matt Blake worked magic with Danny Salazar during those prime years in Cleveland. I don't know. I know he's long shot, but we have him. We got Schmitty.
I don't trust Heel. I don't trust Heel for shit.
No, his control is so bad. His control is
all over the place.
He needs to be in the lab, as Ryan
I'd rather trust King or Clark. In terms of a starting role, just if it's supplementary.
King as a starter, I wrote a piece on this a while back. He should be a starter. He said he wants to be a starter. He throws 5 pitches, and they're all good pitches. Like, King could be a starter if this team needs him to be. And there are options on the starting pitching market if we do really want to go out there. We can talk about that honestly next week sometime in an episode if you want.
We can talk about that.
Because there's tons of starting pitchers we could dive into that have all of a sudden either become available or have made themselves have played themselves into availability. Like, I feel like Frankie Montas, the A's said they were going to keep him, but he's been playing so well that the A's almost have to move him because they're so bad. They strike out 27% of the time and are batting 170. The Oakland A's suck this year. Like, I don't know what. Like,
it's because they trade their best players every year.
Yeah, and that's why. Then they wonder why only 1,500 fans are going to their games.
Yeah, I mean they're a money making machine. They just basically sell their players and just rake in the cash that way. They're not actually trying to be competitive, which is kind of sad because
that's why I wish we could have gotten Olsen
to the game.
Like, I wish we could have gotten Olsen from him because they got Langoliers and Pache essentially for Olsen.
They should move. They should move that
and
team out of
Pache
Oakland.
Is bad. Yeah, that's what they're trying to get. The new stadium on the Bayfront or something like. Okay, they're trying to go to the Bay. I think it's a $2 billion renovation.
They should do that. They need to actually be real.
And a city investment behind it.
They need to be an actual team. Right now, they're just a farm system for the rest of the league. So
it's pathetic.
It's embarrassing.
However, what's not pathetic is that I believe Dalton Jeffries yesterday struck out Trout and Ohtani. So congratulations, Dalton. That's got to probably feel pretty damn good. I mean, even if you lost, I don't care. I'm going to bed knowing I struck out 2 of the best players in baseball.
That's a personal accolade for sure.
but this is a great episode, dude.
Yeah, man. But you know what, guys? If you're listening to this episode, we're going to be doing plenty more in the coming days. Interviews. We got a ton of new content. The Yankees are obviously kicking ass, so we're going to be covering them along the way. As things break down, we got you guys covered. Don't worry about that at all. Make sure to like and subscribe below on YouTube, as always, my friends. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, hit that subscription button so you can make sure to get any subscription bottle. Yeah, you don't want that.
That's what you're doing. If that's what you're doing when you're listening to our podcast, maybe you should find a new podcast.
Yeah, maybe you should find a new podcast.
What do you do all day? I drown my thoughts in the podcast.
But guys, we'll catch you guys in the next Fireside Yankees episode. Had a great time talking about the Yankees offense today. Much more content to come, and much love as always.